fireworks under the tree.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
I look at his coaching style and what he does. He knows how to put players in position to succeed. Come to this school if you want to learn how to be an outside linebacker that can translate well to getting drafted and playing in the NFL. That is going to be his expertise. I think right now for Bill is the staff that he places around him, because in college, different than the NFL, those personal relationships mean so much in keeping guys on campus, especially in a world where they can get more money going elsewhere. You got to have that special sauce to keep them.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Boy, it's one of those days, isn't it?
Is it?
It's one of those days.
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday. That's Victoria. She's back.
I know.
Welcome back.
I know, just in time for our Christmas party that we can't be a part of.
Oh, is today the Christmas party?
Yes.
That's why we have all that set up back there. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
The labyrinth of tables. I was back there yesterday. I'm like, what is going on here?
Right.
And they were all empty. I figured we were setting up for a party because all the tables are covered in green and red.
It's very festive.
Paper.
I know.
Tablecloths, if you will. But, yeah. Mm-hmm. We're not part of the party because, well, we're not part of the party.
I know. We have to make our own parties.
Yeah, they always have these when we're on the show, but that's fine. They don't want us there, and frankly, I'll say it, I don't want to be there. I don't do that. I don't do the parties. No, you guys have a little fun.
Right.
Yourselves. First of all, before we start, the show is always on YouTube. Is it on YouTube today?
It is.
Okay, my television is off, so I can't tell.
Our TVs are not working, but we're definitely on YouTube.
Okay, so we're on YouTube. By all means, contribute if you like at youtube.com/Adam Gold Show.
Yeah, Michael Daniels already said it's a great day to be a Tar Heel, so we already got it going.
No, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of this, okay? So, yeah, youtube.com/Adam Gold Show /99.9 The Fan. You get the same thing. Either way, go into the little chat box, throw your thoughts in there. Victoria monitors that, and we are more than happy to include your thoughts on a day like today. And frankly, we should go. Yeah, no chit-chat, no banter. We'll find out what Victoria did yesterday.
Right, no
later.
pizza talk. Yeah.
Right, we'll do that later. All right. Are you ready?
Woo! It's going to get exciting.
And look, by you, and I will look directly into the camera, I am not talking just about you, the University of North Carolina football fan. Or I could be talking about you, the University of North Carolina football fan. Or you, the UNC basketball fan. Or you, the university's administration at every level. Or you, Board of Trustees Chair John Pryor. Or any of your like who convene at rooftop, restaurants for cocktails. I don't know. I don't move in those circles, but the people who move in those circles, I am asking, are you ready? But there's more. What about rival fans? Are you ready? Rival fans, are you ready fellow coaches in the ACC, the Dabo Sweeneys, the Dave Dorans, the Mario Cristobals? What about the people who cover the sport, who cover sports in general? Are you ready? Because what happened yesterday, what officially happened yesterday, with the hiring of Bill Belichick as the head football coach at the University of North Carolina, and who will be officially ushered in at a 2 o'clock press conference in Chapel Hill. And by the way, we will air that press conference live on the show. This is about to change the way college football is presented. Maybe forever. Or maybe it won't. And there is the rub. Because it may not. And it may not. And first of all, before we continue, I want to pay homage to Deion Sanders, who might have done this before Bill Belichick, but I don't believe it was done on the scale that Bill Belichick intends for it to be done in Chapel Hill. I think what happened at Colorado when Deion left Jackson State to go to Boulder, I think it was done still within the framework of what is traditional college football. So I didn't want to move forward without acknowledging what Deion Sanders has tried to do at Colorado, but I'm not sure ever stepped over the Rubicon that we are about to cross at UNC. So this could change the game forever, or maybe it won't. And maybe this will end up being the most expensive, failed experiment that will cost tons of money into the maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, not even a joke, and will cost people their jobs. Because that's where we could be headed. And I don't think there's a middle ground here. I really don't. There's no middle ground here. There's no, that was good. There's none of that. Because this will either work or it will not. There is no, this is a pass-fail exam right here. You either pass it, and pass it means you got an A+, or you failed. That's the threshold we are dealing with right here. And I'm not entirely sure that North Carolina was the school to do this at. That's the other part of this equation. Because I would point this out. And I am now talking about in the history of UNC football. History. Going back before the turn of the last century. There have been 8 double-digit win seasons ever. Now, for a lot of this, they weren't playing enough games to get to double digits, but that's fine. You understand what I'm talking about. 8 double-digit seasons ever. The last was in 2015, by the way. Larry Fedora won 11 games. Also, in the modern annals, meaning since I've moved here, so this is, come February 1st, I will start my 27th year as a North Carolina resident. Larry Fedora's 2015 season is still the high watermark for a postseason ranking. 15th. We are not talking about a school that has knocked on the door of playoffs and championships. When was the last time they won a title? Was it 80? Right? It was 1980, something like that. It's been a long time since North Carolina's won an ACC title. Forget about a national. They've never won a national championship. Right? An ACC title. So, it's just incredible. They've only ended the season in the top 25. Ended the season in the top 25 twice since I lived here. 2015 in 1997. As my friend Manolo, if you follow Manolo on golf on YouTube, that's it! Twice in 26 years of football. So there is no middle. This either hits or it's a failure. And now let's talk about the financial investment that is going to be needed to pull this off. Look, I've heard that Bill's getting $10 million a year to coach, to be the head coach. Let's just assume that's right. It could be, it might not be. I don't know. He ain't the only one. The staff's going to be expensive. But it's not just the staff. There are two staffs. There is a staff that coaches, and there is a staff that manages personnel, and I believe will be in charge of player procurement. And that's going to be expensive, too. Michael Lombardi, long-time NFL executive, is coming. He's coming to UNC, too. Look, I don't know if Bill might try to reestablish the entire Patriots coaching staff for all we know. We might see Matt Patricia on the sideline. You might see Josh McDaniel on the sideline. I have no idea what's going to happen here at the coaching staff. And maybe we find out some of that at 2 o'clock today at the introductory press conference. But the financial investment to pull this off is probably going to be in the neighborhood. This also includes the NIL money. This is outside of the university, on top of the revenue sharing money based on the House versus the NCAA settlement. I'm going to go out and guess that it's a minimum $60 million. This in football for this university. This ain't Ohio State. This is not Texas. This is not Alabama or LSU or Georgia. This is the University of North Carolina. Again, not a football factory. Sleeping giant, whatever. It's a completely different fish that they are about to go after. The financial investment to pull this off at UNC is unprecedented. So, here's what I think. And this will have nothing to do with whether or not I think this will work out. Because we do not know. We have no idea whether or not this is going to work. None. A lot of people have written a lot of things about why. I have literally heard nobody say why this, and I'm not saying, no, we've heard it on TV, right? We've heard it from all the ESPN folks because half of the New England Patriots roster works at ESPN, and they're all Belichick stands, and that's fine. They might all be right. But I'm talking about the people who cover sports for a living, not just football. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News, friend of mine, sent me a text yesterday, and we went back and forth for a while, and wrote eloquently at sportingnews.com. A coach does not win 6 Super Bowls without being extraordinary, but that way makes one extraordinary at NFL football, and the brand played at the college level is not the same. The sport is different, as is the entire operation around it. Scouting, recruiting, roster management, and player management are all distinctly different. And whatever Belichick might request or demand in terms of building a pro-style front office at the college level, no one's ever created one of those. So no one knows what a functional one looks like. And to that, I say, you are correct. But maybe it can work. And if it does, what are the fruits of that? So where Mike is using this to say this won't work, I read that and say, it might work. I'm not even going to lay odds as to what those are. I don't think it's better than 50-50. I think it's less than 50-50. But to use the line from, what is it, Dumb and Dumber, so you say there's a chance?
So you're saying there's a chance.
Right? I mean, I think there's a chance. Stuart Mandel of The Athletic. Congratulations, North Carolina. You managed to hire someone completely unqualified to be your next football coach. You did that thing so many schools do, where they try to win the press conference instead of win football games. It rarely works. Stuart Mandel might be 100% correct. We don't know. Here's one thing I am positive of. There can't be only one day to do. Well, try that again. There can't be. Edit this out for the YouTube. There can't be only one way to do college football. There can't be. There's multiple ways to do everything. There can't be only one way to do college football. There can't be only coach flies all around the country or all around the state, helicopters in, sits on couches, tries to convince kids and parents why they should come to their school. There can't be only one way to do that. Maybe there's another way. It's likely an expensive way. But this is the investment that North Carolina decides they're going to make. I am not going to tell you it can't work. I can say probably won't work in many ways because I'm not sure the university community has the stomach for all of this. I'm not sure. I don't know. But if the money people here, because this has to have private investment, there's no chance that this happens without private investment. Like, it might need SMU alumni level private investment. Remember, SMU is in the ACC without taking a dime from the league. They're funding their own entrance into the conference. And by the way, congratulations in year one. The ROI is strong. So that's what it's going to take. And if the university is willing to do that, then we're good. Then let's see what happens. But I am not going to tell you that it can't work. I will not tell you that it can't work because it might be able to work. And if it does, it's going to be fun. And from a personal standpoint, if it doesn't work, it's going to be super interesting. Because the chances, if it doesn't work, the chances that it fails in Technicolor are pretty high. I mean, as I advised one former prominent football member of the football community, indirectly, I will say, get a big bag of popcorn because this is going to be one of the all-time great experiments in college sports. Gary Stokan is the executive director of the Chick-fil-A Bowl, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. They are a quarterfinal spot in the college football playoff in year one. Arizona State is the anchor team, and they'll either get Clemson or Texas. I don't even know who Gary Stokan's rooting for. I know the ACC is obviously near and dear to his heart. The former NC State basketball player joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Before I get to the game and the event and how things may have changed for you in the college football playoff era, I got to ask you, sir, as somebody who is as plugged into college football as anybody I know, your thoughts on Bill Belichick at UNC.
Well, Adam, first off, thanks for having us, and great to talk to you again. I think it's basically the sign of the time. College football is going through a different type of business model right now. And when you look at what Carolina's done in hiring Bill Belichick, Bill was a general manager. And if you look at all these schools now, they're all hiring general managers to talk to agents, to negotiate deals. And I don't know if you noticed that Michael Lombardi, who has 30 years of NFL experience as a general manager, is coming with Bill Belichick. So you're going to see an NFL model, which is what college sports is turning into, now that we're in a new era of college athletics. And so people who aren't knowledgeable might think this is crazy, but this is, I think, the breakthrough moment of how college football wake up and change to be more like an NFL model.
Gary Stokan, Peach Bowl CEO and president. I guess I got your title wrong. It changes. But man, it's a completely new.
I've been called worse, Adam.
Well, maybe even by me. I don't know. Probably not. I have mad respect for you. Yeah, I think people are having a hard time. I think that, like, I don't even want to, because this is going to sound like it's a negative. I'm not trying to be negative. The traditional media is having a hard time kind of weighing in their mind just how different this is going to be. I think if we weren't going into an era of House versus the NCAA and that settlement and revenue sharing and NIL becoming not just a part of the college landscape, but a driver, and the transfer portal being a driver. And maybe down the road that'll be lessened because of collective bargaining, which the sport desperately needs. But people are looking at it in terms of this is the way it's been even recently, even in the last 4 or 5 years. And in that regard, it probably can't work. But we don't know what it's going to look like over the next 5 years.
Well, I can tell you what it's going to look like. It's going to be the NFL light. I mean, at the end of the day, people need to turn their heads off to the old system of college athletics, because once the House settlement is done, you could have the potential, of a collective bargaining, the potential of employment of student athletes. I don't think it will go that far. I think, I do know that everything that happens in college athletic football has happened in the NFL already. And so we follow in college football the NFL by 10 years. If you look at what are we doing this year that's new? We've gone to iPads on the sidelines and green dots on the helmets for communication. The NFL's done that for 10 years.
Yeah.
I guarantee in 5 years, probably less, we'll change the kickoff, just like the NFL did. I mean, you can go down the line. The NFL are billionaires, they're owners, and they do football every day. They're thinking of football. Mm-hmm. We in college athletics need an organization that thinks about college football every single day. And I'll make the other analogy to you. What do you think the transfer portal is?
It's free agency.
It's free agency.
Yep.
Right? So what do you think I think to a large extent, you're going to see the group of 5 become the farm system for the Power 4.
Yep.
It's happened already. All these kids that, go from, group of 5 schools. I mean, look at what Kirk Cignetti has done, taking kids from James Madison to Indiana.
Yep.
Right? So just turn your mind off to the old way of college athletics where I got $15 laundry money every month. To now it's illegal to pay kids $1.5 million, $2 million, $6 million, and you got a salary cap. The $20 million House settlement, the salary cap for college football is probably going to be around, 15 to 18 million. And then what's going to happen, they're going to go raise more money above and beyond that, because you got to give about $5 million to women's athletics and non-revenue sports. You're going to give probably about 10% of the House settlement money to college basketball. But they're going to go raise more money beyond the House settlement.
Yes.
To pay these kids to come play. So the Bill Belichick model is not crazy. It's not old-fashioned. It's not that it's not going to work. It's on the cutting edge of what the future is going to look like.
Gary Stokan, Peach Bowl CEO and president. I want to ask you about your game. We only have a couple more minutes left. How has your world changed now that you are a quarterfinal hub? And there will be years where you'll be a semifinal, but this year you're a quarterfinal hub of the college football playoff. How has it changed? You've got Arizona State as your anchor school. I don't know if you're rooting more for Clemson or more for Texas. Either way, you're going to have a ton of bodies down at Mercedes-Benz. So how has your world changed, or is it the same?
Yeah, we're going to be sold out. It'll be our 26th sellout of 28 years that I've been here. But it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for Arizona State, who was picked last, who has made a transition going from the Big 12 or the Pac-12 to the Big 12, picked last, wins the thing with a coach that's the youngest coach, I think, in Power 4 football, and an alumnus from the school. Against two of the blue bloods, either Clemson or Texas, they'll play against. It's changed in that we're not having a bowl where we have a practice, a media day, a walkthrough, and then a game, and then they'll get out of town to go prepare for the semifinal. And then, in Atlanta, the capital of college football, we made Atlanta the capital of college football. Within one calendar year, basically, we're going to host the CFP quarterfinal at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the CFP National Championship game January 20th, and next year, January 9th, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl will be the CFP semifinal. So in one calendar year, we'll host the top three events in college.
Yeah, my fault for forgetting that it was the first title game. It's a run. Well, you know what? Part of that is obviously the work that you guys have done with what was initially the Chick-fil-A Bowl and all of the preseason games you guys play and the brand that you have all built down there. It's just college football is second most popular sport in the United States. It is undeniable.
And it's only grown with the advent of CFP playoff, because if you look at viewership, has increased immeasurably, and attendance has increased because there's more teams vying for those 12 slots, and so we've made ourselves even closer to the NFL. Certainly a long ways to go, but we're certainly the second most sport in this country.
There's no question. And I think all of it is attributed to you, Gary Stokan, Peach Bowl CEO and president. Sir, I appreciate your time. It's been a wild few days here. Thanks for your thoughts. I will talk to you very soon.
All right, Adam. Thank you.
You got it. Gary Stokan here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, that was bordering on actual English. When we come back, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Greg Barnes, inside Carolina, will join us with his thoughts. It's a pretty big day over there. I want to find out what that community is thinking about. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're delivering some fresh NFC action.
Here we go. Woo!
It's the LA Rams and San Francisco. Pre-game starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Y'all know what time it is, right?
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Hey, together, baby, we just do this one play at a time.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
We came here for one thing, to win.
Hi, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller. Not just a friend, a dear friend, and somebody who has interest in your financial well-being. He's saving you money. Let's talk about wasting money. No, not what some universities do with the football program. I'm talking about you personally paying closing costs when you don't have to, and by paying closing costs, you have eliminated the financial benefit of refinancing when the rates come down, because you've thrown money away if you pay closing costs. Don't ever pay closing costs. There's actually only one reason to ever pay closing costs, and that's if the rate will only go up from here, and we know better than that. Miller Lending invented the no closing cost mortgage back in 1987. Gordon Miller did this. Brought it to the Triangle in 1996. You're going to save thousands. Don't pay closing costs. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 2502146.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
Digging out from under a giant gift list? Kill two birds with one stone at the Dugout Tavern and Grill. First, grab a much-needed break from holiday prep at the #1 sports bar in Apex. Second, get Dugout gift cards for everyone on your list. For every $50 card you buy, you get a bonus $10 gift card. Think teachers, babysitters, pet sitters, Secret Santa gifts. Dugout Tavern and Grill can also host your holiday party or cater it and come to you. Find us on Kelly Road in Apex, thedugouttavern.com.
Hey everybody, Paul Leihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Tackle the NFL action on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and do so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com/Paul. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. That's right, now's your last chance to trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Only at Verizon. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
This is Adam Gold.
Georgia needs Alabama to beat LSU right now. And Georgia fans are beside themselves thinking that they have to root for Alabama for anything. So, I mean, it's messy everywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Obviously, not an ordinary day. I'll take you behind the curtain real quick. I try my best to figure out what we're going to be talking about at the beginning of the week and plan ahead. Like, I try. I don't do a very good job of it, but I try. And so we had some things planned out today. Like Chris Carrawell was going to join us, Duke assistant coach. Christine Brennan, who is a finalist for National Sports Writer of the Year, and is a friend of ours, been on this, probably been on my show. I do this. I've been doing this 26 years, probably 200 times, right? A little bit less now than she used to be, but tons of times. Anyway, we scrapped most of it because when Bill Belichick is hired as the head coach at a local university, and North Carolina is local to where we are, it changes the game. So if we can adapt our guests to what we're talking about, as we sort of did with Gary Stokan there, the CEO and president of the Peach Bowl, we do it. This, Greg Barnes, Inside Carolina, man, has probably been, I think you've been at Inside Carolina since I've been here, which is a long time, but maybe I don't want to make you older than you are. This has to be one of a very short handful of days for your community, the people who, devour your content. And Inside Carolina, by the way, has been the leader, I think, of this content. Bill Belichick coming back. How you doing, man? This has got to be a lot of fun.
It is, and kind of like you said, it's not anything anybody expected. When we first heard Belichick's name come up at the end of last week, I think everybody has kind of laughed it off, including probably some of the search committee members, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes into the room with this, hour and a half PowerPoint presentation about what it takes to make North Carolina nationally relevant, and the ball game changes. I haven't been doing it quite as long as you, but I have been in South Carolina for 22 years now, and
pretty good.
A lot of basketball success, but clearly football has always kind of been lacking, and this is Carolina's attempt to change that narrative.
Did you roll your eyes when you first heard, like, okay, yeah, whatever, of course, yes, Bill Belichick's interested, North Carolina's interested, this will be fun for like 2 hours, and then are you shocked that this is where we are?
Yeah, and the fact that Bill was looking for a job in the NFL last year, and because he's been a GM for so long, that power struggle was still there.
Yeah.
And Arthur Blank, for example, didn't want to kind of give in to that. I just really thought that it was a mechanism for him to get his name back into the news, to say, hey, I'm still interested in coaching because we got another month of the NFL season left. I kind of thought that's where this was going to be, but yet behind the scenes, people kept telling me, if he wasn't serious, he would not have done the amount of research that he has done. Nick Saban was involved, providing some guidance. And I think really from that first meeting, while the search committee went in, maybe thinking the same thing, like, okay, it's Bill Belichick. We at least have to try to talk to him, see what he says. Maybe he can give us some advice, to kind of being blown away and thinking, all right, well, maybe this is a time for us to do something that we never thought possible.
Greg Barnes, Inside Carolina at GSBarnes23 on Twitter. So let me ask you, because I think you are uniquely plugged in to address this particular issue. What do you think the financial investment has to be for his coaching staff, for his, and I'm just going to use the term front office, because I think, everything that I've heard, this is going to be run like an NFL operation. And how much of that has to come from, like, private donations to pull this off without damaging the athletic department, the athletic programs elsewhere in the university?
It's a great question, and I think that was a lot of the back and forth that went on this weekend. A lot of, I don't know if internal struggle would be the right way to phrase it, but at least a lot of internal dialogue about what kind of commitment is Carolina willing to make, because it will be substantial. When you look at Mac Brown, for example, when he took over, I think support staff and assistant coaching staff, that total amount paid to that group was about $8 million. Well, last year it was up to $18 million. And I would suspect it's going to jump up probably to $30 million.
Yeah.
Because not only are you talking about some big NFL names coming in that he wants to have join the staff, you're also talking about Mike Lombardi has already been named GM. He's going to have a staff of his own. Mm-hmm. They're already talking about having a high school recruiting coordinator just for high school. And then they're going to have a personnel staff in place to monitor the transfer portal, which includes watching ball games all across the country all year long. So they have an idea of, hey, as soon as this kid puts his name in the portal, we know exactly what he's like. We know if he's worth visiting or not. So it's an incredible amount on that front. And then you get into, ref shares are already going to add a lot of money to the mix. That's an extra 20 to 22 million. The scholarship money's an extra 8 million or so. So that's 30 right there before we start talking about the additional commitments to NIL, which have occurred for Belichick to be able to pull guys in. So I don't have a number, but I would say you're talking close to 50 when you factor in rev share as well, additional from what they've been doing.
I think the number might be 60. That's why I think it has to be. There has to be so much private investment in this. And you kind of referred to it at the very beginning of that answer, Greg. The university, it's been used as a negative that they don't have it's not a football culture. That they don't have the emotional, financial, structural investment in football that they do in basketball. Do you think the community is prepared to do what it takes to pull this off?
We are about to find out. I think there's going to be a lot of hard conversations throughout the university now that this has occurred. I find it interesting that when Mac was officially fired, I talked with somebody that has been good to us for a long time, and the point that he made was we really have to do something dramatic within the football program because the culture is not any good. It's not tough. And you're not going to win in football unless you're tough. And so that's kind of how we were approaching the job search initially. What this is, though, kind of to your point, this is a culture change not just within football, but across the athletic department and across the university. This is a full-blown commitment to football like we've never seen before. And, Dick Bedore would tell you that he had a hard time getting money from the university beyond student fees.
Yep.
Just because there's such a kind of a separation there. Well, that can no longer be the case. But there has to be great investment from the university. And as you said, you're going to start seeing Carolina get very creative with trying to generate revenue because that is critical. They don't have the TV media deals like the SEC to do that. So you're talking about corporate sponsorships. You're talking about all kinds of fundraising, all kinds of commercial NIL opportunities. So that's really going to be a game changer for how UNC's operated thus far.
Greg Barnes, Inside Carolina at GS Barnes 23. Who has the first question of Bill Belichick today at the press conference, or will there be no questions?
That is a. I am glad that I am no longer officially on the beat, Adam. So I don't have to worry about that aspect of things. I get to worry about the other aspects, but not the press conference, Bill, because that hasn't been fun. Although it is fun to watch.
Oh my God, you got to come to Operation Football this year because I think it's my least favorite time of the year. But this year, I might come early. Because I want Bill to turn down all of the interviews that all the coaches have had to do. Like it's that's the cattle call, man. You go here, in Fayetteville, North Carolina. You're going to Myrtle Beach. Then we're taking you to Bradenton, Florida. There's a small station there, and then there's like 4 podcasts. There's no way Bill does any of them. I cannot wait for Charlotte in July.
For sure, and I'm fascinated to see what his Learfield deal is because. Do you see him doing an hour-long coaches show?
Nope. It'll be like when Mike Krzyzewski used to give that to Johnny Dawkins. Right. No, I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen. So I don't know who's on the staff. It'll be the Josh McDaniels show. Wait a second. He's not going to do it either. McDaniels.
It'll be his son, probably, right?
Yes, it'll be the Stephen Belichick show. Oh, my gosh. Greg, thank you so much, man. Have fun in Chapel Hill today.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
You got it. Take care. Greg Barnes here on the Adam Gold Show. I'm telling you, if you don't believe anything I say or anything I have said, believe this. I don't know how it's going to go, but this is going to be the most interesting time we have ever experienced covering college football in the Triangle by a billion light years. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Brian Murphy. Is Brian going to join us here? Right?
Yes.
Because I screwed up the whole schedule. So Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports Investigative Reporter, take us kind of inside their reporting on Bill Belichick being hired at UNC. He joins us next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here, and it's time to tackle the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Same page where you place your bets as well. FanDuel.com/AGS will get you started today, and we will get you started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit wood chippers and stump grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts and rentals for Bandit wood chippers and stump grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit wood chippers and stump grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions, so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here, but don't worry. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
It's that time of year. We can't wait to visit our loved ones. Don't let COVID-19 and the flu stop you. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most by getting your flu and COVID vaccines. Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated to fight against the new virus strains that will continue to spread this fall and winter. Don't wait. Get your updated shots today.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Bill Belichick is the new head coach at the University of North Carolina. I will laugh until I see him in Carolina blue. Will he wear a Carolina blue hoodie to the press conference? Will he show any personality at the press conference today, 2 o'clock? I don't know. I have advised maybe some members of the UNC administration show up in a hoodie. Show up in a cutoff hoodie. Why not? Have a little fun. Speaking of having fun, I want Brian Murphy to attend the press conference in a cutoff UNC hoodie. I'm going to ask you to wear 2 hats during this. We're going to keep the reporter hat first. Walk me through your reporting as much as you can to tell me when this went from get the blank out of here to, oh my gosh, this could happen.
Yeah, I think, thanks for having me on first. And, I think
over the weekend and into this week, I think it really changed from, hey, Bill might be interested to we might be interested and we might actually be able to make this happen. Like, this isn't a leverage play by him. This is an actual interest in coaching at the University of North Carolina. I got a text yesterday that said it's happening today. And obviously that was correct. That source was correct. And so I still didn't believe it until, I thought one call from Jerry Jones and this thing's over. But I guess that call never came.
No. Do you think I hope I say this correctly. Do you think the university hired Belichick or Belichick hired himself to UNC?
That's a good question. That really is. I think Belichick was I think I don't know. I think Belichick when you have a coach of Belichick's stature and he says, I'm interested in coming, I think it becomes really hard to say no. I do think at certain points Carolina probably looked for reasons to say no, and in the end decided there wasn't good enough reasons to say no to the best coach of our generation, even though he has never coached in college, even though he's 72. There's certainly red flags and certainly reasons to try to talk yourself out of it, but in the end, they didn't talk themselves out of it, and Belichick, I guess, convinced them that he wanted this enough to come.
Like, there's a lot of, I'll use this in terms of athlete versus college sports. Like, smart athletes use college sports to get what they want, whether it's a professional career in their sport or they use college athletics to advance their, own interest in terms of, what happens next, business, law, medicine. There have been a lot of players who have gone to school because they're great players, but really are interested in being something else after school because maybe they're not professional material and they use it, right? So I just wonder if Bill, and this is no disrespect to UNC, allow yourself to be used. If Bill is using UNC to achieve a getting back at the NFL, but proving a point to this can be done here. This might be a model for the rest of the college world.
Yeah, I think a couple things. One, I think Belichick and his people must have realized that he wasn't a lock to get a job in the NFL. If he were a lock to get a job in the NFL, I think he would be waiting for that. And then secondly, all the stories you read and the books that are out there about Belichick, he's been very well documented. He talks about being a teacher, and obviously his dad coached in college for 50 years, more than 50 years.
Yeah.
And so I get the sense that this has always, maybe not always been, something he's entertained, but has never been like, I'll never coach in college. I don't think he's ever dismissed that. So when you add those two factors together, he really wants to coach, wasn't confident that he was going to get an NFL job. Carolina's a pretty good place to implement his program. I think all the things kind of came together. I'm not sure he takes this job if it's not. I'm trying to think of a school without disparaging anyone, but I think it had to be kind of a special place for him to take it. A place where he thought he could win, a place where he thought he could live comfortably, all that stuff.
Oh, is he going to buy a house in Chapel Hill now?
Well, I don't mean buy a house here, but is he taking the Texas Tech job? Is he going to Lubbock, Texas?
Okay, yes.
Is he going to Ames, Iowa? I'm just trying to think of a place where he would actually, fit.
Yeah, you know what? That is a good point. And because I know I could hear people cringing about special place, but I don't know that you meant it like an alum would mean it. And I know you are an alum, so right.
I don't mean it like. I just mean like they're
not like in a Charles Kuralt way.
Right. There are certain places I can't see him going to Waco, Texas, to coach Baylor. I'm not sure I can see him going to Mississippi State to coach the Bulldogs. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't know. Maybe that's a little UNC snobbery, but I don't think so. I think the fact that his dad coached here all those years ago, probably this place at least has some meaning to him.
Right. He's been at Keenan before. Now, just looking at your timeline, by the way, at Murph's Turf on Twitter, Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter. Have recruits already started kind of like, I don't know about leaning towards UNC, but maybe are more open to UNC now than they were maybe a week ago?
You know, our high school OT guys, and I know you have them on a lot, have done a fantastic job talking to recruits already. And to a man, they're like very interested. Does that mean they're going to commit to Bill Belichick and UNC? I don't know. But the fact that they're, hey, I want to hear from him. I'd love to talk to him. He won 6 Super Bowls. Shoot, of course I'd take the call. I mean, I get the sense that it will open some doors. Now, we know that NIL plays a huge role these days. And so is Belichick enough to get these guys onto campus? I don't know, but certainly opens doors.
Oh, I would think so. All right. Alumni hat on, Murph. You got to be fired up for this, right?
I have long thought that North Carolina football should be better than it is. Since I was a student here during Mac Brown's first tenure. And it stuns me that it's never been, not even a power, but it's never really even had a magical season. So, you know, from that perspective, I think Belichick has a chance to do something special, but the odds are probably against that.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, and I said this before, Brian. Thank you so much for your time, man. We'll check in again very soon. I appreciate it, man. Take care, Brian Murphy.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
You got it. WRAL Sports Investigative Reporter. I think it's fair to say that the odds, if we're putting odds on this, would be against UNC becoming Alabama. But they're not non-existent, and maybe the right guy is here to pull this off. It's a new time.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK. I want to paint a little scenario for you here. You wake up Christmas morning, the kids are going nuts, and you're looking around for your glasses. I don't know where I left them. Oh, wait, let me put contact lenses in. Yeah, like the kids are going to wait for you. All right, here's what you do. You do it right now. You go to Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK and do what I did. I went from 2250 to 20/20 vision, 5 minutes per eye, totally painless, went to work the very next day. 0 interest financing for 24 months is available, and you can have perfect vision on Christmas morning, so you don't have to waste time looking for your glasses or putting contact lenses in. All you got to do is go to the website. You can set up your free consultation there. TraversLASIK.com. There is no better place to get LASIK surgery than Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK. 919-510-6830. 919-510-6830. Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
Looking for great holiday gift ideas for the golfer in your life? Head to Global Golf's annual holiday shopping event Friday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shop great deals on the year's hottest clubs from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Ping. Plus, get a free gift with any pre-owned purchase of $200 or more. Global Golf is home of the best deals in golf, so don't miss our annual holiday shopping event Friday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Global Golf, located in North Raleigh, 7320 ACC Boulevard.
Experience our Raleigh tradition. Head to Amedio's Italian Restaurant, a family favorite for over 60 years. From weekly specials to their famous homemade recipes, Amedio's uses only the freshest ingredients. Need a touchdown for your tailgate? Amedio's offers delicious takeout, perfect for cheering on the Wolfpack. Or they can host your private party. Amedio's even caters. Amedio's Italian Restaurant, Raleigh's Taste of Italy since 1963. Visit AmediosRestaurant.com for details.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. Plus special designer appearances. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com.
Stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
1,000%. I would give him the keys. Now, you have to understand, most of the kids that he is going to coach at Carolina won't play in the NFL. So there's only a very small pool of guys that make it from Division I football to the professional level. So because now he's a college coach, he's going to have to kind of take a step back and look at this thing of, okay, I can't be as advanced defensively as I was in the pros, because these kids might not get it. They're coming from a place where if you get picked up in Division I football, you're the best in your state. So how is he going to make that work? I have no idea. But if I was a pro team, I would have wanted Bill Belichick as my head coach.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We spend a lot of time here talking about the National Football League. We talk about college football as well, but we usually talk about college football in terms of is this team a playoff team, or can this team win this conference, or why isn't this team winning more games? We are intimately familiar with that conversation in this area code. And then 9, even Duke, who won 9, had you not beat SMU? Like, seriously. You were +6 in turnovers. How did you not win that game? That isn't necessarily about Manny Diaz, by the way. And make a field goal. But there are a lot of things that we talk about in college football, but one of the things that I have brought up from time to time when we discuss it is really in an NFL sense, in that quarterbacks, offensive linemen, defenses, defensive players, cornerbacks, nobody is trained in college to play in the NFL. Doesn't happen. The reason being, it's not the college coach's job to get you ready to play in the National Football League. The college coach's job is to win college football games, which is why that offense, the spread, and all of this stuff is like you don't see it in the National Football League, because they'll kill it, and they'll kill your quarterback if you try to run a steady diet of read option, unless your quarterback happens to be named Cam Newton or to a certain extent Lamar Jackson, although they do a lot less of it now than they used to. Lamar's a pocket passer. But they did it a lot with Cam, because he's not going to get killed. He did get hurt in the pocket, which, of course, people like to pretend to forget. Ross Martin, who has covered UNC for a long time, the Big Hitters Only podcast. He is also the college editor, content director for 24/7 Sports, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I know your Big Hitters Only emergency pod dropped. Who joined you on it?
I had your former co-host on there, Joe Obius.
I don't know who that is. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember. Yeah.
Along with Julian Council and Mike Hardison, who do a lot of shows for us actually is still in process of being dropped right now.
Oh.
So that'll be in your feed soon. Yeah, our producer couldn't get to it until later, but that's all right. I'll be up soon. We'll do another one following this press conference. I'm looking live in the Blue Zone here, setting up for the Bill Belichick press conference. I'm on site right now. Just got in Chapel Hill. We've been driving from Greensboro.
That is, I'm sure you can feel the excitement and energy in all of this. So walk me through you've been around Chapel Hill a long time. You know that the football. Well, we should be better, but we're not. What do you think? What do you think was the tipping point in all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing on this is the commitment to football that's going to come from this, whether that's, fruition is going to be in 2 or 3 years or down the line. But I mean, UNC is upping their NIL. They're going to completely change their infrastructure for recruiting and scouting. And I think Bill Belichick is giving UNC football the kick in the butt they needed to play big ball football and get ready for a move to a bigger conference, SEC or Big Ten, when that happens in 10 years. Because they don't have the war chest now to compete at that level. So this, beyond hiring a very experienced and championship and unbelievable football coach in the NFL, what this means long-term in terms of how it's going to affect the football program from a financial standpoint, infrastructure, operations, I think that's kind of going to be the lasting legacy of this hire as a turning point and an inflection point for UNC football. It's crazy, kind of I think the money that's coming in right now. I think they got some big-time donors involved, including a rumor I hear, Mr. Michael Jordan as well.
Well, I mean, Mr. Michael Jordan certainly has deep pockets and a lot of pleats. He is single-handedly trying to keep pleated pants a thing. Ross Martin, the Big Hitters Only podcast, and, of course, with 24/7 Sports as well. You're not the first person who's mentioned a bigger conference. I know what was said during, Board of Trustees and Board of Governors meetings earlier this summer about, North Carolina's got to get out of the ACC. Do you really think that the future of North Carolina is in an SEC or a Big Ten, or is the future of college sports completely devoid of those conferences anyway, and it is simply a flat-out minor league for the NFL?
Oh, we're talking Bill Belichick. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge question. I think eventually it goes to like a 2-conference model similar to the NFL with, the National Football League, the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah.
And I think eventually it's going to be kind of what the Big Ten is now and what the SEC is now is going to add more players. So UNC, I think, is the top choice for that. And so when they get the call up, whenever this grant of rights is done, they need to be ready. And so I think they need – there's no way right now that UNC can compete at a level of a Georgia or a Bama or even like a Texas A&M or like an Auburn or even like an Ole Miss. But it's just the difference in money is so big. So this move here, I think, is putting your foot in the sand and digging in and investing and building and just getting this to where it's going with the NIL and with making it more of a pro model to compete in this evolving world of college football. I think this is the right time for it because it is so similar to pro football now with the money involved in recruiting. It's not all about relationships and hitting the ground and seeing the players the most. It's about money. And, the transfer portal is such a huge part of that as well. So it is about scouting and finding diamonds in the rough. And I think that's what the NFL experience that Belichick brings is scouting and finding players and then developing them too. And I think his NFL experience is going to be attractive to a lot of players who want to get to the NFL. I mean, his pitch on the McAfee show, I'm sure you've seen that and it was talked about a bunch about how making it like just a breeding ground for NFL players, and that's attractive. I mean, a lot of people, all they talk about is getting to the NBA or getting to the NFL. That's the most important thing. So if this guy is going to give them the best chance to do that, I think that's going to help a lot in recruiting.
Ross Martin, Big Hitters Only podcast, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. To that end, I'm not sure that that North Carolina can't compete with teams in the SEC based on the level of coaching. I'm going to use Mario Cristobal as an example here, but Cristobal is a recruiter. I don't believe that Cristobal and maybe even many coaches on his staff, which are probably more recruiter leaning than coaching in quotes leaning. I don't know that they would be able to compete in terms of the schemes, preparation, training that a Belichick-led coaching staff would be able to provide. And if players see that investment in them, why can't North Carolina, with a $20 million annual investment in NIL, why can't they compete with a Georgia, Alabama, SMU's completely funded privately. They're getting no money from the ACC.
Yeah. I mean, I think on the field is the least of concerns now. I think there's going to be a massive improvement in on the field, X and O's, game prep, advanced scouting of the opponent, preparing day to day. All that stuff is going to be a massive improvement from what it was under Mac Brown. I mean, that is why that's not even a concern. I think when you make this hire, that's why a big part of why you do it. But I think on the field they have one of the best tacticians leading the charge now in Bill Belichick. I think the concerns is a little bit of the recruiting stuff, and obviously this is a little bit of a short-sighted hire in some respects, knowing his age.
Yeah.
I think it's a 3 or 4 year deal, but if you can get to 9 or 10 wins in year 2 and then compete for an ACC championship and college football playoff appearance in year 3, I think that's kind of the goal and where this, in the most optimistic way, is heading.
Indiana hired Curt Cignetti, brought in like half of the roster from JMU and went 11-1. Then they played nobody. The only game they played against the good team, they lost, and they lost convincingly. But they're in the college football playoff. I ain't putting anything past Bill Belichick. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I will be surprised by nothing regarding how this is going to happen. What are your expectations in terms of how Bill, and I guess we're going to have to close on this, but what are your expectations on how Bill will embrace being a college head coach? Do you think he will embrace it as a college head coach at all, or will he simply treat this as, I am a pro coach at the college level?
I think that is the most interesting thing about, I was talking with your boy Ovius. Is he going to do the top of the hill every Monday show?
No,
is he gonna
he's
go
not.
around to, there's Rams Club in the summer, there's Rams Club meetings, there's a tour they do with the basketball coach and the baseball coach and Courtney Bankhart. Is he going to be going to all the different small towns to meet with all the donors who are giving, $20K to the Rams Club? Is he going to be going around to fraternities and talking? Coaches have done that in the past in Carolina to just ramp up support. I don't see that.
Nope.
So it's very interesting to see what colleges. There's a lot of fun parts of being a college coach and kind of embracing the school spirit stuff. But I see this. He's going to be, in the office. I think recruiting is going to almost be outsourced to a certain extent with the whole GM and GM staff and a whole scouting department that's completely separate from the in-game stuff. So I think he's going to be focused on preparing for games, being very much of a CEO, and getting players ready, and then just working with the players and the guys that are given to him, and maybe closing some recruiting deals. But I think because of his stature, he has a lot of wiggle room and won't have to do a lot of the things that a 40-year-old coach like a John Summerall would have to have done during his tenure at UNC too. I think it's just such a different thing, and because of the weight he carries as a head coach and the 6 Super Bowl rings he can show people.
Is Stephen Belichick part of this deal?
That's what everybody says. I don't know. I'm not sourced up to that depth.
Right. Because if he is, Stephen Belichick's going to get all those assignments.
Exactly. And you're going to see, I think we're going to see a lot of people he's worked with the Patriots, who's the old Denver Broncos head coach and the
Josh McDaniel.
I've heard a rumor of that today, that he's going to be the OC.
Matt Patricia. Yeah, I can see all of it.
It's a lot of guys with not a lot of charisma, not a lot of personality, so it's a little concerning on the recruiting side.
But I don't think they're going to recruit. I think you hit on it maybe without realizing it. I think there's going to be a recruiting side and a coaching side, and I don't think those two. I think the Venn diagram is going to be two completely different circles. Ross Martin. Yeah, Big Hitters Only podcast. Check it out. I'm just going on what you told me. Your array of guests is top drawer. So tell everybody who's on it that you will see today that I said hello, and I appreciate your time, man. Ross Martin, NC, on Twitter. Thanks, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Tori.
You got it. He said thank you to you. Did you hear?
That was very sweet of him.
Very nice by Ross. Yeah, I think the biggest criticism, and we're going to go to break here in a second. Luke DeCock from the News and Observer is going to join us on the other side. And by the way, press conference, Bill Belichick announced will be introduced as the UNC head football coach today at 2 o'clock. We are going to air that live. I think the biggest mistake people make is assigning what we have known forever about college football. How is Bill going to be on the couch going into living rooms? He's not. I am convinced that Bill, Deion Sanders has been criticized for not leaving the university, basically not leaving his office to recruit. I think that's in large part going to be Bill. I'm not saying that he will not in any way, shape, or form go out on the road to recruit, but it's going to be a special case. Just like it was special for Bill to visit schools occasionally to scout future NFL players when he was with New England. I think that this is going to be a completely different animal than anything we have ever covered or experienced in college football. So assigning all of the, how is he going to do this and this and this, meet with donors and blah. I think the answer is he's not. Somebody else will. Occasionally Bill will be called in, but I think it's going to be somebody else's responsibility to do those things unless Bill is needed, in which case he will begrudgingly go. I think this is going to be one of the great experiments in the history of college sports. And I'm thrilled that I will get a chance to at least chronicle however long I have here before my key card doesn't work. I'm thrilled to be able to be right here kind of monitoring all of this. All right, when we come back, Luke DeCock of the News and Observer, he's going to be in Chapel Hill. We'll get his thoughts on Bill Belichick era beginning next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Hey, it's Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete D'Arruda, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. He is a retirement planning specialist. He's also a fiduciary. Everybody at Capital Financial in Apex, they are all fiduciaries. That just means they are legally obligated to make sure that you have exactly what you need when it comes to retirement planning. They make decisions on your behalf, not something that earns them a commission. So when you go to Coach Pete, you're going to ask him, all right, I want to do this when I retire, and he will go, all right, here's how we get there, and he can totally customize a retirement plan for you to make sure that you've got everything you need in retirement, and he can do it for free. If you don't know me, it's going to cost $1,000. Here's how you get it for free. 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700 and make sure you never have to worry about retirement planning again. Coach Pete D'Arruda, 888-843-0013.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with cold hard cash.
Anyone else? Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch. New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Pinch me, because lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. Hashtag Ale Yeah.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. This holiday season, why not give a gift that truly shines? At Bailey's, we believe in making every moment special, and our carefully curated selection of fine jewelry is sure to bring joy to your loved ones. From stunning diamonds to designer jewelry and luxury watches, we have the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Gift the magic of a Bailey box and make this Christmas unforgettable. Visit us today in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. There's a lot of people who have had a lot of thoughts nationally about the fact that Bill Belichick is the head coach at the University of North Carolina, and we are going to have time to present some of them to you. We haven't done it yet. We have been wall-to-wall so far, and we will get to those. And, of course, we will have the press conference where Bill is announced as the head coach. He is already in Chapel Hill. I've seen pictures of him getting out of the back of a silver SUV. He has got a little satchel. And
Whoa,
I believe
a satchel?
He has a satchel.
Does he have sleeves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I also was told that part of the whole hoodie thing was a bleep you to the National Football League for not allowing coaches to wear suits on the sideline.
Oh.
So who knows if he doesn't go full, I'm going to wear a suit.
Yeah.
I would like, it would be funny.
With the Argyle and everything.
Well, yes. But by the way, look out for all the cutoff hoodies and suit jackets with hoodies as well.
Yes.
Luke DeCock, who I don't know, might own one. I'm not sure. News and Observer columnist extraordinaire, my friend. It's funny when I hit you up the other day to come on. I was not intending to talk about this. We were going to talk about it, but I was really going to talk Hurricanes with you. But we ain't talking Hurricanes today. No game yesterday, no game today. And they play tomorrow. But I know you're headed out there. When did you become, come on, to holy mackerel, this is going to happen?
Well, I mean, given the circumstances and the way things have gone generally with the North Carolina football program and the way that the trustees and boosters are calling the shot, there was never without anything possible. They talk about these corpse and running around like Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, anything was possible with these people. So, no, there was never a moment where I said, this is impossible. I didn't think it was going to happen. I never thought it made any sense, but no, there was never a moment where I sort of said I wouldn't put it past anyone.
Do you think it makes sense now?
I don't. I mean, that's my opinion.
Right.
I'm occasionally wrong, but no, I mean, I think what North Carolina needed, and I wrote this weeks ago, was a good, solid college football coach to take the foundation that Mack Brown had built in his return. Obviously, the results weren't necessarily there, but I think overall there was a legitimacy about the program that hadn't been there before, and they needed somebody who could, step in and build on that. This is going to be a ground-up rebuild, a completely new paradigm, starting over from scratch, that, frankly, we haven't seen before. Maybe Arizona State a little bit under Herm Edwards, but it's almost like the second Mack Brown regime never happened. We're just, this could have happened. This is the kind of thing that could have happened when Larry Fedora left and the program was sort of a laughingstock, but instead they're doing it now. So it's not what I would have done, certainly, but I'm not a millionaire who gets to call these shots.
Right.
I'm just, a normal dude with really no skin in this game. Obviously, everyone says, oh, Bill Belichick, it's going to be great for content and selling newspapers and all that stuff. I don't know that it is. I mean, I think it's good for the sort of NFL media sphere, which seems to be all-encompassing these days. But I mean, look, as I wrote today, and it's up online, it'll be in tomorrow's paper probably, this was never really about winning football games. It was about winning the hire, and it was about making people pay attention to a football program that, quite frankly, doesn't do much to make people pay attention to it. Now everyone is.
Luke DeCock of the News and Observer is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. It's basically what Stuart Mandel said, right, at the beginning of his column in The Athletic, that it's about winning the hire. But this is an expensive proposition for it to be only about winning the hire, which is my initial point, is that this is either going there. This is sort of like taking pass-fail to an extreme, because it's not pass-fail. This is like A fail. It's like even a B, an 88 is a fail here, because there's no middle ground. This either works famously or it fails, because I think this is going to be anywhere from $50 to $75 million annual investment to put based on all of the staffing that needs to be in place, based on what you're going to need out of NIL and revenue sharing. I think there's going to be a ton of private investment here. So you mentioned the millionaires. Yeah, we don't walk in those circles, and I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think I have the brain to act like this. But these people want good football, and they're going to go get it.
Well, I would argue that that's what they wanted. This isn't the way to get it. Here's my question: is if all this, if you can shake the trees and come up with all this money on demand, where was it the last 5 years? Where is it for basketball? It just feels like there's this sort of group of people at UNC who so desperately want to have an SEC caliber football program, and have been chasing that dream since the Butch Davis era. And it's just, I don't think that's ever going to happen. You should, like anything in life, know your strengths. There's nothing wrong with being a basketball school. It's a really good basketball school.
Yeah, it is. It traditionally, I don't know that it's going to change. I think it'll always be a basketball school. Of course,
buddy.
Well, no,
that's a big gamble to say that it's not going to change, because I'm telling you, you look at what's happened over the last 2 years at both Duke and Carolina. That mystique is not the same. When those Hall of Fame coaches walk out the door, the aura has changed. It's fading, and they've got to do something. Both of these schools, Duke and Carolina, to reestablish themselves atop the pecking order. Because right now, those SEC schools are coming hard. They've got money. They've got motivation. Allocating resources to football necessarily means not allocating them to basketball.
Yeah, I'm not really worried. I'm probably more concerned with North Carolina than I am with Duke. Luke DeCock of the News and Observer is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. You mentioned what changed. Well, I think the House settlement with revenue sharing. I think because Bill Belichick and company will fully embrace a professional model. I think that changed. That wasn't the case last year or the year before. I think now getting where we're headed is going to force schools to treat football, which is the biggest moneymaker of all the sports. If you want to compete, you have to invest more money. So I think the new structure of the sport is what's changed, and maybe that's why it will work.
And I wrote that as well, that this is a hire that's going to be judged on the balance sheet, not necessarily on wins and losses. But my point is, you still had the opportunity over the last couple of years to invest through NIL in your programs. The fact that you're doing it now is sort of closing the door after the horse is out of the barn. That's my point there. That, yes, House is different, and obviously this is a hire designed to calculated to make the most of that and activate something that Carolina hasn't to date activated in terms of really pushing the boundaries of those things financially. But you also could have been investing in NIL over the last couple of years in this way and seen results.
Right, and it's clear that they weren't because maybe they weren't made to. Because, and I asked this of, I guess Brian Murphy was on with us earlier, but I asked him this question, and I want to ask you the same question because I'm curious what you think about this. Do you think that the university hired Bill, or did Bill basically hire himself to this university by getting them to commit where they never would have committed?
Well, that is a very fair question, and I think you could make the argument, if you wanted to be really cynical about it, that Bill Belichick sat down at the table and spotted the sucker and basically said, you want to give me all this money? You want to hire all my boys? You want to create a new deal for unemployed football coaches? Yeah, sure. What the heck? I mean, it's possible that Bill Belichick is coming here to loot the University of North Carolina the way Halliburton looted Baghdad. Just grab everything that's not nailed down on your way out the door. That's a very cynical take on it. But if you end up with Matt Patricia as defensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator, this does become a work program for unemployed coaches. If you have multiple Belichick sons on the staff. So, I mean, Bill's a smart guy. Regardless of what my feelings about the hire may be, I'll say he's a smart guy and he's a smart football guy. There's no doubt about that. If he saw an opportunity to back the truck up and, run an old school mafia-style bust out, run up the Bills on UNC's credit and walk away with the goods, more power to him.
So, because I fancy myself a cynical person too, but I have not gone to that extreme. If it doesn't work, does that not also reflect on his legacy?
I don't think so. Does anyone remember that Bill Walsh failed at Stanford?
Yeah, different era though.
Maybe. I just, I think there's more risk to his legacy if he, say, goes to the Bears and goes 7-10 than failing at Carolina. If he fails at Carolina, everyone will write it off as, no one could have won there, or he never should have done it, but it's college and whatever. I think there's almost a no lose for him here in that respect because there's so many variables here that it can be written off. So no, I think his legacy is probably intact. I think he's trading out of it a little bit here, but I don't think I shouldn't say never. Things can always get worse. I don't think there's much that can happen here that would really put that much of a stamp on his legacy.
Oh, no.
Barring some sort of extraordinary circumstances. I think his legacy is pretty much set. What happens here is sort of a postscript to it.
I agree with that, and maybe putting it in legacy terms was a mistake on my part. But I think if the university does put forth the resources, and it does appear that they have met what his demands are for those resources, and I believe this has to be like 70% privately funded based on current resources that the university has to pull off all of this with terms of staffing, NIL budget, plus the revenue sharing gets thrown in there as well. I think you're talking about anywhere from probably in the neighborhood of 60 to 70 million annually. If they put forth that money and it does not succeed, I think that will reflect on Bill. Because if you're that good a coach and you have these kind of resources, you should be able to do better. And so while it won't affect his overall legacy, he's the greatest NFL coach of all time. I think it will be looked at much in the way that Nick Saban's tenure with the Miami Dolphins is looked at. Like, yeah, he was a great college coach, but boy, when he got to the NFL, he stunk. And I think that will be part of it. Nobody like stains Saban's legacy based on his 2.5 years with the Dolphins or whatever that was. And I don't think it will stain Bill's legacy, but it will be brought up.
It might. I don't hear that brought up with Saban anymore. It sort of seems forgotten in a way because he did accomplish so much at Alabama. And here's the thing. If you put this much money and everything into the program, it doesn't matter who the coach is. You put that much money in the program, you and I should be able to go out and win 11 games. So I think that's I don't want to say irrelevant. He wouldn't be here without that kind of financial commitment. Whoever they hired, they were going to have to make some kind of financial commitment, obviously not like this. They want to play in the big weeds with the big dogs. That's the level of commitment it takes. Bill's the guy that they want to lead them there. Not necessarily what I would do, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've got this one nailed. Maybe he's a football genius who can perform at any level. And I mean, legitimately, I do think there are probably inefficiencies in the college game that he'll spot in a half second and exploit. But college football's a weird animal, man. There's stuff that you don't think of that has a direct effect on winning and losing. Your relationship with high school coaches, your relationship with boosters and teams. I mean, there are so many variables that pro coaches don't have to worry about.
Right.
That college coaches do, which is why we've seen them. Jeff Hafley, Brad Stevens, all these really smart young guys would rather coach in the pros than college because there isn't all that extraneous BS. You just coach.
Unless Luke, he won't have to do them, which is
not him. Think about his staff. You're going to bring in, let's say, guys who have coached for him with the Patriots.
Right.
Those guys spent 23 hours a day breaking down film. They spent 23 hours a day talking about football. Well, guess what? Now they're going to have a fraction of that time because they're going to have to be in the room working on their players. They're going to have to be recruiting. They're going to have to be calling. They're going to have to be scouting. I mean, there's a million things that you have to do as a college coach you don't have to do as a pro coach. It's not just about Belichick. It's about some of the people he'll bring in. And he will bring in college people who are familiar with that and all of that. But it's not going to be everybody, and it's not going to be him, and that's an adjustment. It doesn't mean he can't make it, but it's different. It's a different game.
It is. And here's my submission to you, and we're going to have to say goodbye here. First of all, before I say this, the chances of you being right are way greater than the chances of you being wrong. And everybody who has written about this nationally, same thing. All the critics of this, and I respect everything that you have said, and I do think you probably have a 60 to 65% chance of being right. Maybe that number is higher even. But I think the way Bill has talked about it, he and his staff, the coaches, will not have to do all the things you're talking about, and that there will be a separate staff that does have to do all the things that you're talking about. And if it's run the way I think he wants to run it, then he's going to run it like an NFL training complex and not a college football program. And who knows? And again, I think the chances of you being right are far outweigh the chances of you being wrong. But I just think that we have no clue what it's going to look like, no clue what the sport is going to look like going forward. And I am here for the social experiment. And maybe I'm just rooting for content, Luke, because I do think it will benefit you. More people will read at Luke DeCock than maybe did before. So you'll get 4 million page views as opposed to 3.8.
It's certainly possible.
You're a gentleman, sir. I'll see you very soon.
All right. See you, AG. Take care.
Got it. Luke DeCock of the News and Observer here on the Adam Gold Show. All right. It's funny because my initial reaction to this, to everything that was happening, was skepticism. Now, I'd had enough of an internal governor, because when this happened, when this started, how fast did we get here? It was Thursday afternoon. That's how far back you have to go. Thursday afternoon, because we didn't talk about it last week. Right? Victoria, the last show we did before my 4-day weekend, last Thursday, we didn't talk about it.
No.
But Thursday afternoon, I saw the story that UNC and Bill Belichick had discussed the head coaching job.
Right.
And my initial reaction, honest, was, get out of here. This is dumb. Flat out. What are we doing? My internal governor said, okay, not going to happen, but what are the optics of Bill showing interest in the job? And the first thing I put up, you can go through my timeline, whether it's on Twitter or on Blue Sky. And my initial reaction was, what it says is that there is value and validity to the head coaching job at UNC. And yes, the guy from Tulane, Matt Campbell from Iowa State, basically right away said, nah. And maybe it's because that the old way of college football, everything up until today, because I don't believe that anybody has honestly considered that next year starts a completely new universe. Because I think Bill Belichick is looking at the future starting this year, upcoming, and I think everybody who has criticized this is still looking at, oh, sure, it's modern, we've got NIL and blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you that revenue sharing, the NCAA House decision, their settlement is an absolute, it's a sport changer. It is a financial mechanism that will drive the sport. It will create a greater separation than ever among schools at the Power 5 and the Group of 5 levels. Power 4, sorry, and the Group of 5 levels. What's going to happen is that there are going to be schools in the Group of 5, and I know App is in. I know ECU is going to be in. And as a point of promotion, Blake Harrell will join us next Tuesday, as will Dave Doran next Tuesday. I know Dave Doran's made some comments about Bill Belichick. He's got a little bit of a relationship with Bill Belichick. The Patriots have drafted some Wolfpack players. So we'll talk to Blake Harrell and Dave Doran next week. And we had Dowell Loggins on App's new coach. We had him on yesterday. And, yeah, they're in. App's in. And he understands what the game is going towards. And he's a pro guy, too. He was, his entire background until the last 4 seasons was in the National Football League. So I just think that we're not giving enough respect to how much everything is going to change. And that it is possible that Belichick is at the forefront of a completely different way of doing things. And of course, it's going to take finances to pull this off. Now, can UNC get to a point where they don't need to have this privately funded for perpetuity? I don't know. I think they're going to try. Because for the time being, and for me, the time being is the next decade, I don't think anything is going to change regarding the teams who are in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I don't think the courts are going to bail out Florida State and Clemson and therefore open the door for other schools to leave. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty confident that it won't. But I do think that the end of what we know as the current conference structure probably is sooner than the grant of rights expires. I do think that we're probably anywhere from 5 to 7 years of completely blow it up, start over. And when that happens, I think what you will see is college football will become a separate entity. And that's okay. That's okay. It's progress, I guess. But that's why when we had on Ryan Nanny a week or so ago, the guy who is the co-creator of Who Killed College Football, it's not about college football dying. It's not about college football deceased. It's just that the sport, as we know it today and going forward, really will bear no resemblance other than the logos to what we all grew up watching. So that was the whole point of that. But Luke is probably right. Mike DeCourcy is probably right. Stuart Mandel is probably right. All the people who wrote that this is a dumb decision, they're probably right. But I don't know. I really don't. If you were looking for a definitive answer from me, maybe that's optimism. I don't know. Maybe Bill and his staff are the people to pull it off. We will certainly find out. Get your popcorn ready. We're going to stretch. We're going to stretch.
Yeah.
I'll take a breath. Top of the hour, we'll have the press conference. Consider this the pregame show for the press conference. We'll stretch and we'll place bets. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here, but don't worry. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
Adam Gold here, and it's time to tackle the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Same page where you place your bets as well. FanDuel.com/AGS will get you started today, and we will get you started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
It's that time of year to come see me. Don't let COVID-19 and the flu stop you. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most.
By getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective.
Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated to fight against new virus strains.
So make sure you don't miss that family gathering and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider about updated flu and COVID-19 shots.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? Think about how good you feel when someone looks you in the eye and smiles. It makes you want to do the same. A smile. A simple word of thanks for a good deed, no matter how small. Passing on the simple expression, have a great day. It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
When the U.S. Space Force plays Air Force in the Military Bowl, then I will recognize the
It'll be out of this world.
The anthem.
Sorry, I had to.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. I'm not even sure what we would have talked about today if Bill Belichick wasn't being introduced as the UNC head coach. What happened yesterday? Nothing.
Well, there's a football game tonight.
We would have done top five, bottom five in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But could I have done that for 3 hours? I'm not sure we could have talked about anything for 3 hours. It's Rams 49ers. Is that really a football game?
No.
49ers have no players left. Everybody's hurt.
Right.
Rams are kind of on the fringe of a playoff spot, but they're probably more trying to win the division, catch Seattle than they are. I mean, I don't know that the wild card's really that. I guess it is. They're not that far behind Washington. Washington they're winning enough games, but it's obviously not the same as when they were kind of a quasar at the beginning of the season. I've stopped even thinking about that futures bet I placed at the beginning of the year for Washington to win that division. I'm not sure Philly's not about to clinch. All right. With all of that said, we will take a little breather and stretch.
Okay, yeah, I know. It's been a lot going on today. Well, there's also been a lot going on. I don't know if you remember the story that I had mentioned. It's probably been last week now, where there was $197 million just floating around recently because someone did not claim their lottery winnings in California. Well, the guy, so for anyone who missed the story, it's a California story where two winners had $395 million up for grab. They won the jackpot. One of the winners came forward and got their half of the winnings. The other guy never showed up. Well, the guy who bought the first ticket and did claim his $197 million, he actually came forward with a lawsuit because why not? He is suing for the other half of the $197 million because he said that he made a duplicate ticket and it's actually his. It's all baloney, I'm sure, but just take your $197 million and go on somewhere.
Interesting.
If people can sue, then they will sue. But yeah, just if anyone was curious, because when I mentioned it, they had 24 hours to claim that $197 million.
All you get is 24 hours?
No, so the year had been up. You get a year to claim it.
Gotcha,
and so last week, I think might have been one of the days that you were out, the person had 24 hours left in the year for them to, or it would have went to the state. Quote, state for, quote, public schools. But they had 24 hours. So I guess within that 24 hours, this guy just decided to sue for the other half.
It's interesting. If you missed the 24-hour deadline, maybe you're asleep, you're tired.
Right.
Could you claim that as a $197 million tax deduction and as a donation?
Well, that would be nice. I feel like that I pay that in taxes. So
there you go.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe we'll win $197 million with our bets.
Maybe.
Place your
Could
bets.
happen.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, let's have a little fun, shall we?
Yeah.
Did I win any yesterday? I think I won the NBA parlay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you made a draw yesterday, didn't you? I got excited. You put a draw in, but it didn't work
Juventus actually won.
Oh,
Man City is on the struggle bus.
Not great.
Man City, yes. All right.
Well, all football for me today. Like I mentioned, Thursday night football. And it's the Rams in San Francisco taking on the very beat-up 49ers. So give me Puka Nacua, who's scoring all the touchdown these days. Anytime touchdown score, he's plus 130. Why he's still plus money, I don't know.
I don't know either why he is.
He's crazy.
Why he is plus money.
He scores all the touchdowns.
He is amazing. All right, let's just start with the game. Rams are going to win the game. So give me a Ram win, which is plus like 125, and over 48.5.
Okay.
Plus 282.
Now, I'm taking the first half total, even though the Rams and the Bills scored all the points in their football matchup. I'm going to take the under for the first half total. That's minus 120, and it's set at 24.5. I just don't see them scoring that many points in the first half, but we'll see. So, under, minus 120.
All right, I'm going to give you a touchdown score for each team. First time through this, we'll do San Francisco. Israel Abanikanda, who is a former Pitt running back, was actually with the Jets at the start of the season, I believe. So he's been exiled. Plus 430, anytime touchdown for Israel Abanikanda.
And my last one, I agree with you. I do think that the Rams are going to win this one, and they are underdogs on the road. So just give me them to win outright. I don't know if it's going to be under or over, but plus 125.
All right, so let's have a little fun with the touchdown scorer, and we'll go Kyron Williams of the Rams as the last touchdown scorer. Okay? Kyron Williams of the Rams, last touchdown scorer, plus 500.
Ooh, that's nice.
On that. So that just seems like fun to me. Right? Again, I'm not advising you to do this. I'm just, if we get lucky, we get lucky. And wouldn't you like to get lucky with us? Wait, what? I'm sorry. When we come back, the press conference to introduce Bill Belichick as the head coach at the University of North Carolina, live right here on the Adam Gold Show.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and another NFL week is upon us. It's the Rams and 49ers in San Francisco. Frisco's pretty much cooked. The Rams are right in the fight for not only winning the division, but maybe even catching up to a wild card spot. Tackle the NFL action on FanDuel, and right now new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. That sounds like a good deal. All you got to do, go to FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Join today. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This year when the family gathers for the holidays, make memories, not mayhem, with help from Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School.
Last year, the kids loved Deep River Sporting Clays gift cards. I say, let's stick with the winner.
Mabel, that's a great idea. They've got cool merch, too. The kids love merch.
Merch, look at your fancy millennial slang.
Hey, when you know, and I know what family loves. Deep River for the holiday win.
Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. More than just a place to shoot. DeepRiverSportingClays.com.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins' for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's Bo time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. It's Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. Get 50% off all styles of windows and a bonus 10% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Sale ends December 31st, so book a quote at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guarantee your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
We all were surprised to see it. When the news first hit and it was all right during conversations, everybody was like, this might just be a smokescreen to see, all right, which NFL team I'm going to. So the fact that it happened to me means that there's 3 vacancies in the league right now. And out of those 3 teams, Bill didn't think they were going to give him the opportunity. And you don't want to miss out on another cycle of not coaching. I got a chance to see him in September at a Rutgers game. I remember talking to him. I was like, Bill, I see you're killing it. You're everywhere on the TV thing. How you enjoying it? It's all right. You could tell at that point, like, all right, like my guy misses coaching. He wants to be back in it.
Jason McCourty or Devin McCourty? They're Jason McCourty. They both played for the New England Patriots. Jason's brother Devin, I believe, works for CBS. He's doing games for CBS. Jason McCourty works for ESPN. They both went to Rutgers. They both played for the Patriots under Bill Belichick. Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's here. In a matter of moments, we will have the press conference to reveal Bill Belichick, as the head coach at the University of North Carolina. Lee Roberts, the chancellor, will go first. Then Bubba Cunningham will speak, and then it will be Bill Belichick. And we will bring you this press conference live. One of the things that is a real benefit for UNC over the last several days is that one of the driving topics on ESPN, if not all other sports networks that talk about sports, has been that even though they went, 6-6? We're talking about UNC. Here's Adam Schefter.
We're talking about North Carolina football. Bill Belichick has brought more attention to North Carolina football this week than it's gotten the past 3 decades.
True, totally.
And because of all that attention, there are going to be players that follow. Why would you not want to go play for the greatest coach of all time? It's going to happen. He's going to bring credibility. He's going to bring success. And he is going to turn it into a place that players can go from there to the NFL, a pipeline, so to speak, where he gives them the training that they need.
The only thing I will kind of quarrel with regards to what Adam Schefter just said is that I don't think using definitive language, this will happen, this is going to happen, I don't think that's the right way to go because we don't know. That's the plan. But not all the plans that we make work out as we like. So I don't know that this will, but this could. And I think that's probably the better way to approach it. As for people who are more skeptical, Troy Aikman, ESPN Monday Night Football analyst, was a little surprised.
A little bit of surprise, I think it was to everybody when we heard that Bill Belichick may in fact be interested in this job. You know, I don't know exactly what the motivation might be for him. I think he'll be successful no matter where he goes, if it's college or if it's pros or whatever. I mean, obviously his track record speaks for itself. But my guess is, based on what I've heard, it sounds like the opportunity maybe for his son to be the head coach in waiting, that was a motivation for him in being interested in this collegiate job.
I will just say this. If Belichick's motivation is his son Steven becoming the head coach at North Carolina down the road, there is zero chance, that he would have been able to convince the money that has to be pouring in privately to finance that dream. Now, I am not in any way saying Steven Belichick can't be a head coach. Down the road, and it may very well end up being at North Carolina. And it might even be part of the whole package, if you will, to convince Bill that this is the place, to say, yes, when you're done, Steven will be the head coach. But if that can't be the motivation, because, look, I don't know the people who are donating the money, but based on what we know the university has in terms of their available resources, there is no chance that we're not talking about almost 70% private funds funding this whole thing. You're not getting that money because you want Steven to be the head coach. No chance it's going to happen. So this has to be, it's about Bill. And as a matter of fact, I'm trying to think who wrote it. It might have been, no, it wasn't Seth Wickersham. There's a great piece on ESPN.com about why Bill is doing this. And according to Seth, it's Bill being motivated by being spurned by the National Football League. There were 7 openings last year. The only one that showed any interest in Bill at all was the Atlanta Falcons. And when they got right down to it, the Atlanta Falcons sent it around the room to a vote, and Bill was not even one of the top 3, but he did interview. The only interview was that. All right, well, we're heading out to Chapel Hill right now. We're going to have the Chancellor, Lee Roberts. Are we ready for Lee Roberts? You let me know when we're...
They are just going over the
ground rules?
order. Yes, they are setting the ground rules
All right
now.
So the outline. We have an outline. We have a Roman numeral 1. Roman numeral 1 will be the Chancellor Lee Roberts. Roman numeral 2 will be the athletic director Bubba Cunningham, and Roman numeral 3 our guest of honor, Bill Belichick. That's how it will be. And after that, we'll have questions and answers. So we are going to bring you the press conference. We'll bring you certainly the Chancellor, the athletic director, and the head coach in their entirety. And then it will
sounds like they're all seating now.
Yeah, everybody's sitting down.
Hear them moving.
Are they serving lunch yet? All right, Lee Roberts, the Chancellor.
Chancellor, all yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here, especially on short notice. As Steve said, I can't let the opportunity of so many sports journalists being here without recognizing our national championship winning women's soccer team, which won its 23rd national championship here on Monday. Indeed. I also want to thank my colleague, Bubba Cunningham. I've said publicly earlier that Bubba is among the most respected and admired athletic directors in the country, and the last couple of weeks have shown once again why that is the case. He's conducted himself with an extraordinary level of professionalism and dedication, and I'm honored to work with him. So it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel, but today is an especially great day to be a Tar Heel. We've been playing football at Carolina since 1888, and I suspect that in those 136 years, there are a few days that have been as auspicious as this one. I've said many times that we want to be the best public university in the United States, and that means excellence in everything that we do. We're going to have an excellent college football program. We want to compete with the best, and we've hired the best coach. I was sent this morning this excerpt from Carolina's Football Media Guide from 1954. It's talking about one of the assistant coaches, Stephen Nicholas Belichick. When Steve joined the Carolina coaching staff 2 springs ago, he felt right at home working alongside Bill Edwards, who had already come here. Edwards was Steve's coach at Western Reserve, and for the past 4 years, Steve had been an assistant to Edwards at Vanderbilt. He began his coaching career at Southwestern Louisiana Institute during his Navy V-12 training, became head coach at Hiram College in Ohio, and remained on that job 3 years before joining Edwards at Vanderbilt. Steve Belichick established a record for himself as a coach on pass defense at Vanderbilt. Steve is married to the former Jeanette Munn of West Palm Beach, Florida. They have a 2-year-old son, William Stephen. So, Coach, welcome back to Carolina.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. Really appreciate the kind words. And in the immortal words of Yogi Berra, the future ain't what it used to be. And we are embarking on an entirely new football operation, and we can't wait to have Coach Belichick leading the charge for us. Over the last 4 or 5 years, anytime there's been a search anywhere in the country, they thought the first 2 people you should call are Brad Stevens and Jay Wright, so that's who I called first. I didn't think either one of them were interested, but then we said, all right, how big can our list be and who should be on it? And we are here today to celebrate an incredible day for Carolina athletics and having Coach Belichick join us at the university. We are known as the University of National Champions, and we have a Super Bowl champion coach who's here to lead the program. With him today is also Michael Lombardi, former general manager in the NFL, and the future of college athletics is changing, and we want to be in the forefront of that. Coach Belichick has demonstrated his passion for teaching, for coaching, and for lifelong learning, and he is an absolute perfect fit for us at this time in the history of the university and the history of college sports. Please welcome the new head football coach at the University of North Carolina, Coach Bill Belichick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bubba, I believe you have a presentation for Coach. Chancellor also.
All right. You got a jersey. And I did get a new sport coat for the occasion.
Oops, sorry, Bubba.
Well, Chancellor, thank you for the sweatshirt, but the truth of the matter is, I already have one. It's good to have two. That was actually my dad's from when he coached here. Yeah. You can tell I like it, right? I've kept it a long time. It's got a little wear on it. Chancellor, Bubba, thank you. I can't express my gratitude to both of you, the Board of Trustees, for this amazing opportunity. I've always wanted to coach in football, coach in college football, and it just never really worked out. Had some good years in the NFL, so that was okay. But this is really kind of a dream come true. I grew up in college football with my dad. As a coach at Navy for 50 years, so as a kid, all I knew was college football, and so it's great to come back home to Carolina, and back in an environment that I really grew up in. When you're little, you don't remember everything. Obviously, I was too young to remember a lot of things from Carolina, but as I grew up, you hear the same story over and over and over and over again, and so. One story I always heard was Billy's first words were, "Beat Duke." So, full circle. But again, very grateful and appreciative for the opportunity. This is a great process. I've learned so much about the university and the support that we have for the football program. And this is, obviously a great educational school, and the kids here are outstanding, and we want to, transfer that over to the football field and have an outstanding football team with those student athletes. So, I'm here to as Bubba said, teach, develop, and build the program in the way that I believe in, and so grateful to have Michael, with me in this process. Michael and I have worked together for going all the way back over 30 years, and he has a great knowledge of the general manager role, if you will, in this type of position, with terms of scouting 2 sets of players, high school players and college portal players, as well as dealing with some version of what's called salary cap, which is now part of college football. So. All that being said, I look forward to working, here. I talked to the players a little earlier, and that was a great opportunity to start to get to know them and start to build the program. And I'm excited to continue that process. And also met with Coach Kitchens, who will be, the first member of the staff that we hire, and I have a ton of respect for him. As well as for Mac, a lot of respect for Mac and his career, what he's done. So also look forward to, connecting with him down the road. But excited to be here, excited to be in college football, excited for the opportunity to build and develop young student athletes, young men, and prepare them for their life, either in the NFL or professionally. But the lessons they learn will be professional lessons. They'll be pros in all areas, and that's what we want to develop, as well as having a winning program, a successful program. But we want to develop good people and good kids and good football players. So, Steve?
Thank you, Coach. Forgive me before we go to questions. One omission. There are a lot of luminaries in the room right now, but only one of you were inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame in the last 6 months. Julius Peppers. Congrats, Pep. Okay, again, please, if you would identify yourself and your affiliation quickly. Let's get through the questions quickly so we can get to as many people as possible. Hold your hands right now, because I've got 7 assigned already. We're going to start over here on the right-hand side. Aaron Beard with the AP. I've already done that part.
You're listening to the press conference to announce Bill Belichick as the UNC head coach here on the Adam Gold Show.
So much more has come into professionalism in the model, whether it's NIL, portal, revenue sharing coming up. How many parallels did you see to what the experience you've had at the pros, and do you envision it sort of being like a mini NFL team in that regard?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. I do think there are a lot of parallels. There's certainly some differences, but there are some parallels, and I think that's the reason for the general structure of Michael as a general manager and myself as a coach, and working together collaboratively like we have done in a professional organization. So yeah, I do think there's some parallels. There's differences for sure, but yes.
Right next to him, Brennan. I'm sorry, Coach, go ahead.
Hey, Bill. Brendan Marks from The Athletic. At what point in this process did you decide or know that you wanted to become the next head coach here? Was there a singular moment when that happened? And can you elaborate on the investment that North Carolina and your conversations with the Chancellor and Bubba made to make you feel comfortable taking the role?
Yeah, I mean, it was, we went through a process, but it was great. Every step of the way was great. The support was tremendous. All the things that I feel are important to having a successful program, Bubba and Chancellor Roberts reaffirmed, and I think they made they've made a great commitment to this program. Obviously, we have a great university, and I'd say along the way, as kind of things got out, if you will, the amount of support that I got from Carolina grads, former Carolina football players, people that are connected with this university was really overwhelming. And not that I'm any social media expert, because I'm not, but there was an awful lot of, positive feedback from my face and stuff like that, and it was great.
Front row left here, Chip.
Chip Alexander, News Observer in Raleigh. I'm roughly your age, so I ask you this respectfully. Just at 72, why do you want to keep coaching? What's in it for you? You've proven yourself over and over, and your legacy is set. Why keep coaching?
Well, beats working.
Good.
When you love what you do, and my dad told me this, when you love what you do, it's not work. I love what I do. I love coaching. I love the interaction with the players. I love building a team, working with the assistants, game planning, the game itself, which, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones, but they're all learning experience, and working with, young kids who, with the energy, enthusiasm to want to be good, to want to be successful. It's great every day to wake up and come into that environment. Thank you.
Okay, we got Andrew, then Michael.
Hey, Coach. Andrew Jones, Tar Heel Illustrated. A lot of talk's been made about the difference, how college football is a lot more like the NFL, like what you were talking a few minutes ago with finances. What about scheme? How much can you take from the intricacies of the scheme you use with the Patriots to college when you don't have as much time with the college kids?
That's a great question, Andrew. I think in some respects you have more time than with the college kids. Not as much meeting time, but more practice time, certainly more opportunities to practice in pads and work on fundamentals and things like that. So, it's a trade-off, but, in the end, scheme-wise, I want to be versatile and take advantage of the personnel that we have. And so I've always coached that way. I don't want to just, run one front and run 4 or 5 plays, and that I just don't believe in that. I believe in attacking the defense, in defending what the offense does well, and that takes some versatility. All two teams aren't the same, and I think you have to play them differently from week to week. So that's what we'll do, and we'll use our personnel the best we can to do that, but we'll have a versatile and system that will incorporate any good player. If we have a good player, I've never told Michael, hey, that's a good player, we can't use him. Give us a good player, and our scheme we'll find a way to work that player into the scheme.
Michael, then Adam, over here on the left, Coach.
Hey there, Coach. Michael Coe with WCHL and ChapelBro.com here in Chapel Hill. You've mentioned that you've talked to the current players already. Have you had conversations with some UNC football alums, guys like Julius and other players in the past? And what have those conversations, if you have had them, been like?
Yes, I've had conversations with Julius, LT. I mean, he's the greatest players that have played here. Very supportive. Talked to Michael the other day. Very supportive. There's been a ton of support from ex-players and other UNC alums. This is a great brand and a great support system here. So I'm excited to just spend more time with these people and to get the support that they've, I'll say promised, but that they've, indicated that how much they want to be a part of the program and how much I want them a part of it. Thank you.
Adam, right here on the end, Coach, second row, and then Brian.
Hey, Bill. Adam Smith with Inside Carolina. What were your impressions of UNC as a football program from the outside when you were in the NFL for so many years? it sounds like when you would come back here to scout, occasionally the place made, you know, an impression on you.
Well, come back here to scout is, you know, as a coach, you kind of get where go where you want to go, right? And maybe you send your assistants to, you know, somewhere else. You take the trip to Carolina, you take some of the other better trips. But, you know, Michael and I have made trips down here to scout players. But, you know, I'd say the overall impression, like, great place to go to school, great, you know, great program. But, you know, it's been a while. You know, 1980, you know, that was the heyday, really. And we got Taylor right after that at the Giants. And talked so much about, you know, the Tar Heels and their great program, and kind of hasn't been to that point since. So, you know, I think there's a lot of pride in this program, and, you know, I want to do everything I can here to help, you know, take it to the highest level.
Got about 5 in this section. Brian, then Marty right in front of him. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Brian Murphy with WRAL. Two, if you don't mind. How do you envision filling out your staff? Do you think it'll be former NFL coaches? Will it be current college coaches? And what about your son? And then for Bubba and Chancellor, did it take some time for you to get comfortable with the idea of hiring a coach with no college experience, one who's a little bit older? And how did that process sort of play out? How did you become comfortable with that?
Coach, you first, please.
Yeah, you know, on the staff, we'll hire the best coaches we can hire. I want to do everything I can to help this program and make it as strong as possible. So we'll hire the best ones we can get. There are several college coaches that are involved in bowl games and so forth. And so I wouldn't interfere with the process at those, you know, at those schools with their commitments to their teams. So you know, we'll see how it goes. But look, in the end, I've already had, you know, a lot of people contact me. There'll certainly be a strong presence of NFL people on the staff. I think that's a certainty, and not only in the staff but in the training area. But at the same time, I'm looking for the best people we can get for Carolina, and that fit, I think, is a little different than what an NFL team would have. But we'll see.
Chancellor, you want to go first? Bubba.
I kind of got over the hump on the collegiate head coaching experience with Damon Nahas and Aaron Matson.
Nothing
Marty?
to add to that.
I didn't know
Okay.
if the Chancellor wanted to weigh in on that.
No.
Marty, go ahead.
Coach, good afternoon. Marty Smith from ESPN. When a guy like you with that resume walks in the door here, expectation skyrockets. I wonder how you'll define success at the University of North Carolina. We've seen that guys can flip programs quickly in the portal era. So what is success to you here?
Yeah, well, success is, you know, it's a day-by-day process, and the only thing we can really do anything about is, you know, today, tomorrow, you know, what's immediately in front of us. So take advantage of every opportunity we have to build the team, improve the team, get better, and keep stringing a lot of good days together, and the results will come.
Pat Welter.
All right, that's the we're gonna duck out right here. This is the Adam Gold Show. This has been the news conference to introduce Bill Belichick as the new head coach at North Carolina. We'll come back. We've got a lot of stuff to listen to. It's sort of going to be a wall of sound on the back end of the show, and we'll talk about Bill Belichick as UNC's head coach next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're delivering some fresh NFC action.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
It's the LA Rams and San Francisco. Pre-game starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Y'all know what time it is, right?
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Hey, together, baby, we just do this one play at a time.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
We came here for one thing, to win.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends down at Diamonds Direct Crabtree. How about this? I'm not sure you're aware, but the holidays are coming. That's right. And it is time, frankly, it's past time that you went down to Diamonds Direct Crabtree and shopped and got her exactly what she wants. She hasn't told you yet, but she has left magazines open strategically around the house. And now it's time for you to go get exactly what she wants and pay dramatically less for it because at Diamonds Direct Crabtree, there is no middleman markup. You're buying directly from the diamond manufacturers, so it's like having an uncle in the diamond business. I keep telling you, Uncle Barack has you covered. Best customer service in the industry, the best selection you have ever seen, and the best diamond and fine gemstone jewelry on planet Earth. Diamonds Direct Crabtree for the holidays or any day. Diamonds Direct Crabtree can be found online, diamondsdirect.com, or on Glenwood Avenue in front of Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
During the Ram Wrap-Up, the year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up, the year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
The Pack family knows Sammy's Tap and Grill is your one-stop shop for brews and bites, serving up good times for almost 25 years. Sammy's has over 40 beers on tap, so you're guaranteed to find your perfect pint. And house-made food that's touchdown-worthy. For the game, Sammy's got you covered with over 60 TVs. Plus, you can bring your own mascot. Sammy's is pet-friendly. Come find your people at Sammy's Tap and Grill on Avon Ferry near campus. Great beer, delicious food, TVs galore, furry friends welcome. Visit sammystapgrill.com for daily specials and beer lists.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he
Right.
said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Bill Belichick is the new head coach at North Carolina. A sentence I did not believe I would ever utter. Even when I first saw the news on Thursday that they had discussed the job, I never thought we were getting to this day. Now, I didn't think that it was a joke. I did think that was, okay, that's probably not going to happen, but that's interesting. And it apparently went from, that's interesting to, oh my gosh, this could be a real thing. Pretty quickly along the process. And maybe that's why other people decided not interested. Sometimes you pull out when you realize you're not going to get the job. That's what happens in the coaching search world. Sometimes when you're not going to get the gig, you're better off not getting to the point where they didn't come after you. You're better off saying, you know what, I'm staying where I am. Truth is, the guy at Tulane, he's only been there 1 year. That would have been just about as silly a hire as what many people think of Bill Belichick. All right. Just some things that I think you should hear before we have to take another break here. But we have There's just a lot that has been said about what happened today. But I want to go back just to when Adam Schefter said earlier, we played the clip. Man, people are talking about the University of North Carolina football today. They're talking about North Carolina football, which is not something that you would normally hear on ESPN unless they were in the college football playoff, which they're not, especially from an NFL guy. That's who Adam Schefter is. Marty Smith was a guest on the Pat McAfee show. The Marty Smith from the SEC Network and ESPN and all the books, usually hanging out with either Nick Saban or Dabo Sweeney. He was in the Blue Zone.
It's an historic moment in this university's history because I don't know the exact stats. One of y'all's folks back there in the back who have the computers and the brains, but I don't think they've had but one 10-win season since 1998. And that was 2015, I think, under Larry Fedora. You can look that up. I think that's right. But, hey, Kirsch. Let me ask this. Am I right? One 10-plus win season since 1997. And that was 2015. I believe that's correct. Okay, I'm told that's a correct statement. Thank you, America. You're welcome.
That's Pat McAfee's first experience of a Kirsch nugget. Steve Kirshner is the best. I love Steve. And yes, that is true. 2015, Larry Fedora, they got to the ACC championship game. They won 11 games. The most recent 10-plus win season prior to that was 1997 with Mac Brown. They won 11 games there. The season before then, they won 10 in 1996. In 93, Mac Brown won 10 games. So there was an era where they were, hey, you're pretty consistently good. It's a long time ago. It's a very, very long time ago. All right, what have people talked about? Oh, how's he going to recruit? How's Bill going to how's he going to recruit? We're assuming that recruiting is the same today than it was then. We're assuming that you only recruit high school athletes. Well, that is obviously not true. The transfer portal is like a fire hydrant. Only the fire hydrant also has an intake. I mean, that's really what it is. The new general manager of UNC football, Michael Lombardi, 30 years of experience in that role in the NFL, was also on the Pat McAfee show and was asked about recruiting.
Yeah, well, if you want to play for the greatest coach of all time and you want to be around a winning program, please enter the portal. We'll take you. We're going to go through it deeply. I mean, this is an advertisement for it. We're going to go deep into it because we're going to rebuild the team, and I think it's important. I don't think it's just about – this is team building. This isn't adding players, right? We're going to systematically and strategically build the team the right way so that we have sustainable success, so that you can compete at the highest level of college football. I think that's really important. I think everybody makes too much about the cap. Certainly the players deserve to get paid, but more into the cap, there's two things that involve the cap. It involves how do we develop players to become good players, and how do we pay the players that already are good players? So there's two systems that are going on simultaneously. And you need a head coach like Coach Belichick who understands that. Player development is the key to salary cap. We've seen this. The Jacksonville Jaguars have done this for years. They buy players. They haven't won enough games. You got to develop your own players from within.
All right, there's a lot there. When you say salary cap, because there will be, in fact, a salary cap that the universities can provide. There is no such animal when it comes to third-party name, image, and likeness. There is no cap for that. There is an internal university cap, part of the revenue-sharing deal. I could argue that that might not even be legal because anything that artificially limits the ability for an entity, in this case players, to earn, needs to be collectively bargained before it's really legal. The players have not been termed employees yet. I think ultimately they will. Although you could collectively bargain with a group that are not employees, but that would need a congressional action to get to that point. They'd actually have to create a different level of, I guess, employee is not the right word, but we'll just say worker. And if Congress is going to get involved there, they're probably going to get involved in a lot of other areas. My guess is that they will. I think they're just going to end up being declared employees. All right. One more thing, and then we'll break. Yesterday, it was revealed that Belichick had presented the university with a 400-page, we'll just say, paper on how this was going to work. Pete Thamel of ESPN on the paper.
We were hearing about a 400-page Bible. What other details can you share about this specific proposal?
I don't think the 400-page Bible is really where we want to go with this. But I do think Bill Belichick is a maestro of structural organization. And one of his great talents has been hiring talent and leading talent and guiding them. Remember, when he was with the Patriots, he had one of the smaller staffs in the NFL. Bill Belichick, a lot like Nick Saban, was the master of giving people a job and giving people direction and purpose and letting them go. Look, Bill Belichick laid it all out on Pat's show the other day. He wants to be an NFL factory. He wants guys from training, teaching, nutrition to come in there and know this is going to be the preeminent place in college football to prepare for the NFL. And look, it's tough to argue with Bill Belichick's track record. I think it's going to be unbelievably compelling for recruits. I've been told Bill Belichick, as of a couple days ago, was like looking at portal players. Like he was diving into the minute level details here, who Carolina had in the portal, who they'd take back, who they could upgrade on, who they could want. There's going to be a big wholesale strategy to this, from NIL, from revenue share. Every detail, I've been told, has been poured over by Bill Belichick and his team.
Yeah, see, when we were talking to Luke before, we're under the impression that the coaching staff is going to do things that other college coaching staffs do. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. We won't know until the staff's in place and all of that. I think we're going to see a lot more of what looks like an NFL coaching staff. Maybe there'll be some college coaches on it, but I think it's going to act and operate like an NFL staff. And other people will be involved in the scouting and the player acquisition and the roster management. And Bill will have his hand in all of it. But I think there are going to be other people who aren't actual coaches that are involved in shaping the roster. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, how will the style that Belichick coaches with, his manner, how will that fly with college kids? And what is the one thing that college coaches have done the poorest job with in the college game? I would say simply winning. We'll talk about that as well as we continue covering Bill Belichick's ascension to the UNC football throne here on the Adam Gold Show.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's that time of year when we pack our bags for exciting adventures with friends and family. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most by getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective. Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated. So make sure you don't miss that flight and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider for your updated flu and COVID-19 shots. Don't wait. Get your updated shots today.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
Adam Gold here, and it's time to tackle the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Same page where you place your bets as well. FanDuel.com/AGS will get you started today, and we will get you started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions, so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket, it's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here, but don't worry. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Have you ever noticed how little things can make a big difference? Letting someone with an item or two check out in front of you, especially when you have a cart full. By the way, it doesn't take any time to smile at a grumpy checkout clerk. Maybe they've been working a long shift. It takes so little time, but it works wonders. In North Carolina, we have always taken pride in being kind to everybody. Little things do make a difference. Makes you feel better. Makes everyone around you feel better.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we
seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. The Chancellor of North Carolina, Lee Roberts, started the proceeding. They started about 6 minutes after. The press conference was to announce Bill Belichick as the head coach. Was supposed to start at 2 o'clock. It started about 2:06 or so. It started with Lee Roberts, the new chancellor. He spoke for, 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe. Then Lawrence Cunningham, Bubba Cunningham. I have a hard time calling any grown man Bubba, but that's fine. I have a hard time calling a grown man Boo. We have a Bubba and a Boo.
All right.
Right? It's just
comfortable
crazy.
all around.
I need to ask Nina King, why doesn't she have like a crazy nickname?
I know. The next one should be Bay. Boo, Bay, Bubba.
I wonder if how that would not fly. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that. So he was next. Then there were goofy gifts exchanged. The chancellor had a short sleeve hoodie with the UNC logo on it. Bubba Cunningham produced a sport coat with the sleeves I mean, jaggedly cut off. And then Bill presented his own ancient UNC sweatshirt, which, not going to lie, I'd buy it right now. I love the old-looking stuff.
Me too.
So there was that. There was that little exchange. That was fun. And then Bill spoke for, gosh, did you time just the Bill part? What, like 4 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was like 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah,
That was it.
It was very, very brief.
Yep, then questions.
They are still in Q&A. We're not gonna cut back to it. We will obviously sift through all of it, and we'll present some of the best of it tomorrow on the program. But there are a couple of other things I want you to hear over the at least the last 7 or so minutes that we've got. Jason McCourty, who went to Rutgers, now with ESPN, who played for Bill in New England, defensive back, dynamite player, super smart guy as well, on Belichick's style and whether or not it will fly in college.
I look at his coaching style and what he does. He knows how to put players in position to succeed. Come to this school if you want to learn how to be an outside linebacker that can translate well to getting drafted and playing in the NFL. That is going to be his expertise. I think right now for Bill, it's the staff that he places around him, because in college, different than the NFL, those personal relationships mean so much in keeping guys on campus, especially in a world where they can get more money going elsewhere. You got to have that special sauce to keep them.
It's about rep, right? That's what you're hearing a lot. It's about, this is Bill Belichick. And I've heard so much about why this can't work, or Bill didn't win without Tom Brady. That's a fact. He did not win without Tom Brady. I would also point out that the last year with Tom Brady, they didn't win. And they made the playoffs because the division's trash. Still is, kind of, other than the Bills. Yeah, they didn't win without Tom. He didn't win without Tom Brady. It wasn't so much without Tom Brady. It was, man, the rest of that roster on the offensive side of the ball wasn't any good. They made the playoffs with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is terrible. But they made the playoffs with Mac Jones. He's not a product of Tom Brady. He is an amazing football coach. No offense, but that is a silly line of thought. Anyway, here's the thing, and I brought this up yesterday with Chip Patterson. We're actually going to go back to yesterday's conversation. Because one thing that I know about college sports, the in-game coaching, not everywhere, in a lot of places, in 90% of places, the in-game coaching ain't great. How many schools maximize wins and losses? How many schools do what Duke basketball did during the regular season under Mike Krzyzewski? What the Carolina Hurricanes do in the regular season under Rod Brindamore? Maximizing wins and losses. And I talked about this line of thought with Chip Patterson yesterday.
Well, I mean, this is where I've got to go locals only, to which I say at what cost? Because North Carolina has to get out of the ACC if they're going to actually do that. I mean,
well, they're trying.
I mean, I don't see, because the way that I understand it, the recommendations / demands / plans. Okay. Like, have you ever heard somebody talk about the polo shirts? Like, you look at a program photo or a team photo at the beginning of the season, and you know what you'll find at Alabama and at Florida and at a lot of these places? Armies of polo shirts. And those polo shirts are paid positions.
Right. All right, that's an element that people have talked about, the difference between the SEC and the ACC, that there's so much more money for the organizational structure. One thing we did get into with Chip, and I brought this up yesterday and I brought it up today with Luke, in that teams don't maximize wins and losses. There are very few coaches in college that get the most in terms of the only way we judge teams, wins and losses, out of their rosters. Mario Cristobal did not max out what he should have done with that roster. Injuries aside, every team has to deal with injuries. All of them have to deal with it. To lose to Georgia Tech, no offense to Georgia Tech, to lose to Georgia Tech, to lose at Syracuse with everything on the line, not going to happen if the level of in-game coaching and preparation is higher. You can accomplish a lot if you win the games, all the games that you have the opportunity to win. You take advantage of that. So if you are whether you're a UNC fan or if you're a State fan, every year there's like, man, we should have won that game. We had every chance to win that game. We just didn't. How did we not win it? The theory is that Bill eliminates that. Whereas a year where you might have won 8, suddenly you win 9 or 10. Or, more importantly, a year where you might have won 9 or 10, you instead win 11 or 12. It's a completely different factor, and that puts you in the college football playoff discussion. When you get into double-digit wins, now you're talking about being in the college football playoff discussion. That should be a byproduct of having Bill Belichick as the head coach. All right, let me just bring this back to Adam Schefter one more time. What's the long-term reason why Bill Belichick chose North Carolina?
And the long-term answer really goes back to last offseason when Bill Belichick spoke to the Atlanta Falcons in depth and also briefly the Washington Commanders. And he wound up being bypassed in NFL circles for a head coaching job. And so he was on the sidelines doing all sorts of media gigs this year. And as he sat back and observed the landscape and the changing college landscape that's more like a football business with NIL money, I think that attracted him more and more, especially considering that the NFL turned its back on him last offseason.
So was this the Malik Murphy double bird to the NFL? I mean, theoretically, it could be. That's what Seth Wickersham really wrote about today. In that he realized that he was never going to go back to the NFL, that they had moved on from him. Maybe. Could be North Carolina's big gain, right? Victoria, thank you. See you, buddy.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, with a great offer for you. If you are a new customer and you place a $5 wager and win that $5 wager, that doesn't seem like a lot. You get $150 in bonus bets. That's a lot. You can do a lot with that. You can have a lot of fun with bonus bets. It's not your money. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Rams at 49ers tonight. That should be a good one. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Join today. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Remember, new customers, bet $5, win that bet, get $150 in bonus bets. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call